Alright, hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Now, I said this in previous videos, and I hopefully have put them out before this. I don't know, because I've been recording a bunch, and scrapping a bunch, and not happy with a lot, editing a bunch, so on and so forth. But anyway, here we are, in, obviously, the Battleground area. Now, with the recent changes they've made to the game, which I honestly think, this is my opinion, of course, as we all have our own, the changes to the Necromancer Helm by the Necromancer developer clearly was in bad form, was a bad choice. It wasn't necessary, it was beyond necessary. And it just shows that, you know, it just takes one developer to have a favorite class and favoritism that doesn't get the proper checks and balances from everybody else in their development teams to say, well, hold on a second. So, you know, they kind of seem to have kind of free reign on certain things that they do, and a lot of the stuff that they do, as we all know, doesn't always make the best of sense. Balance has gone pretty much out the window for quite some time in this. So take it for what it is. I was playing it sparingly. This season I was going to do about the same, and then I seen that change on the way, and I was like, oh man, it's going to be even worse, but I persevered anyway. Long story short, it's nothing but a grind, the same as the rest of every mode in this game is. So, to that effect, let me just show this here. Boom. I just finished the match. I might put the match up here to show and what I got done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that actually and play it through. Okay. So here we are in the last Battleground match I had. It's not entirely anything to write home about. It is what it is, as all these are anymore. You're going to get some that are just completely lopsided piles of crap. And other times you'll get ones that go in your favor that way, or of course the same MO. It's either one way or the other, or you get some that are in between. Very few that you get that are in between. And as far as builds go, we're still pigeonholed into a lot of the same mess. I mean, I know there are some that go a little bit off the beaten trail, and you know that's appreciative, but this is what has been working fairly well for me to a degree. I don't have Savior. I don't run with Cheat Death. It's balls to the wall, glass cannon, free to play, do as much damage as possible. You know you're going to get dropped fairly easy. That doesn't matter. I try to cover as much ground as I can with, you know, a caster mage. So call it for what you will. You know, have your own opinions, of course, and you know, and I know someone would do the battle mage class, and I'd love to. I really would. But I'd have to change a lot of gems, which I don't have the gem power for, and yeah, I'd have to farm up a bunch of other set pieces as well. So, but anyway, I'm just gonna let this play as I'm giving some kind of commentary. This one went interesting, actually. I had a little bit of fun, and I caught some people off guard in some of these, and I felt pretty good about it. And what really made me feel better at the end of this is after the win, seeing legend rank unlocked. And that means I'm done. I'm done with this season. Unless, of course, they make some other... Well, the problem is, whenever they do Battleground changes, if they do that in, say, I'd say most times they've done it into about like a third of the time that the season started. That's not really good. And most times, honestly, whenever they do Battleground changes, we can all just go, aha, and laugh because there are no changes. People, this last one they said, oh, we're doing this to stop smurfing. Happened anyway. People still smurf. That's clear as day. I know certain ones that have done it in the past and do it wildly bad and apparent, and most should hopefully know who those names are. One in particular I'm not going to name, but yeah, they usually can run 8-9K reso at maximum, and they smurf all the way down to a 2K, or it's like 2080 reso. So yeah, that kind of thing. So that's obviously thrown out the window. That doesn't apply. Secondary stats, as they said they were gonna this last update, or maybe it's on the way yet. Maybe they didn't release it yet. I'm not entirely sure, but if they did, that's another lie. Unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because every time they suggest these things, I think it's more of the same. More of, oh, yeah, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing, and it's just a bunch of talk. I'm at this point, I'm convinced they don't know how to program this stuff correctly, and they haven't since, obviously, I guess, day one. Diablo 4 is another example, sadly. I'm still pissed about that one. I have the game. I haven't gone back to it. I've uninstalled it a while ago. I enjoyed the story in Diablo 4. I enjoyed the lore, and everything is always, when it comes to that stuff, the teams at Blizzard with the lore, the cinematics teams, the music score teams, all of those have always been stellar. And I honestly feel bad because their developer teams are very shaky and very revolving door. And they haven't been good, I don't think, for quite some time, and it's a shame. All the good ones from the Diablo series left after Diablo 2, and it shows. They went on to do their own things, and, good on them, kudos to them. They were the ones that, honestly, I feel was when Diablo was at its best and at its strongest, and ever since then, it's just been kind of, they've been... Blizzard's and Activision or whatever, I think, has just been latching on. This here was pretty crazy. He just picked me up to pull me away, and I'm like, oh, okay, dude. Anyway, that's all they were able to do there, and it was just annoying, if anything. But as far as Blizzard and Activision goes, this is turning into kind of a different kind of rant here, but it's kind of pertinent. I don't know, they've just been, of course, relying on the IP to bring players in. And as we all are fans of the Diablo franchise, and we are, that's why we're here. I've been playing it since the first OG Diablo game, and Hellfire expansion even though that was made by a different company. And then they're chasing me down. And at that point, I was like, I know I'm going to drop because it's a necro, I don't care. I'm just going to do as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, I didn't get them that on that exchange. I do get them later on, you'll see. But anyway, yeah, there's a little bit of commentary in the match, and then but a little bit of a generalized thing here. So watch and take in what you want, and listen to the commentary as well. Because at this point, I'm just kind of running back and forth between the lanes, throwing down fields, doing what I can, hitting, tagging as many as possible, and keeping them from pushing the idol as much as I can. We do have in this matchup, we do have a 6800, I think, or 6500 Rezo Satyr. I think they were actually in my party. I was never near anybody because I'm always on the move. And at Ranger, since playing Ranger Paragon, the further you are from the target, the more damage you do. So that's why I'm just trying to, hit and run. But anyway, but yeah, back to the Diablo franchise as a whole. After Diablo 4 was, what it was to me, I'm still a fan of the story. I do like the story. I do want to see what continues to unfold. I have predictions, of course, like, oh yeah, Mephisto's gonna eventually take over and possess the whatever. Spoilers, but it's gonna happen. It happens every single time without fail. So it's like once you're marked or once you have anything on your person of that nature, they're gonna possess you. So, and then some way, form or another, Diablo works in a funny way, and as we've seen in the story for Diablo Immortal, actually, think of it as Voldemort and Horcruxes. Diablo always seems to have a way out. and he always finds a way back. So, and that makes good for a series, and as far as games is concerned, and so on and so forth, you know. So he'll eventually come back as well. Who knows when that will be in the expansions? They'll probably try to, or the DLC. They'll probably try to milk that for all it's worth, of course, for the cash cow. However, mechanics-wise, Diablo 4 was pretty busted, and of course people were very disappointed in it, and rightfully so, as was I. So as far as the series as a whole goes, and Diablo 4 is probably my last one from Blizzard anyway, until, I don't know, who knows. I'm sad because, you know, I grew up on this kind of the lore and everything else, and was, you know, very fond of it, had fond nostalgic memories. However, that's nostalgia. You can give you rose-colored glasses at times, and then you see things like, oh man, this is really good, and then all of a sudden, bam, oh no, never mind, it's terrible. But yeah. And as far as this game goes, it's going to continue for a while, and obviously I'm still in it over Diablo 4, so if that says anything, then yeah, that's pretty crazy. Especially as a free-to-play, playing a pay-to-win mobile game, I'm playing this over Diablo 4. What's that tell you about how bad they handled D4 as a whole? But yeah. Okay, and then you get to see, let's see, Savior. Go through the list here. Oh, I already showed the Necromancer. They had, of course, I think the Worm Helm on. Shocking. So at that point, when you get hit with the Worm Helm, if you are immobilized and they're not still on top of you, I find that you can still heal up, and then I have the cat familiar sometimes bubble me, so I can heal up even easier that way. So I'm just like, all right, well, if you hit me with immobilized and run away with your Wraith form, then that gives me time to just sit here and be like, well, I guess I'm healing. There's nothing else I can do. But of course, if not, if they stay on top of you, then yeah, you're just gonna get killed. But I don't know. That whole change to that helmet was a poor decision by the Necromancer dev, of which we've had plenty in this game. You know, we'll have the flavors of the month, and I don't fault anybody for choosing to use that helmet as a Necromancer, especially the lower rezos. You know, they're excited and happy about it. Hey, it happens. It goes through cycles. You know, in all these PvP games, it's just the long and short of it. We're used to it by now. It's just unfortunate and very bad choice, more often than not. And this last one was pretty much, you know, more than just a shot in the foot as far as their choice was. But it is what it is. We'll continue to persevere and move on, which we have, like I've done here. I've grinded, survived, persevered, and I've already knocked out to legend rank for this season in Battlegrounds. But the rewards are not worth the headache anymore for me to keep going. So honestly, this is probably where I'm going to stop on Battlegrounds for this season and enjoy doing everything else but this, unless they make some massive changes that are actually viable and actually pertinent for everyone, that we all can, as a community, as a whole in this game, agree like, hey, these changes they made recently are actually good. But for the most part, they are not. And then I'm going back over this, grabbing my last rewards. There we are at leaderboard legend. I'm circling it with the mouse right now, all excited, because I didn't honestly expect this. I thought I was close, but I didn't realize it just took one more win for me to finish. And I was like, that's it. I'm good. I'm good, bruh. I'm done. I'm out. And that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your experience actually has been so far in this particular season so far in Battlegrounds. Let me know also in the comments what your thoughts are on the Necromancer helm change. And, you know, as Necromancers, I've heard both sides. You know, I've heard like the lower rezos being happy about it because, you know, they feel like they're being a bit more impactful. And then also other Necromancers that have to deal with getting immobilized from other Necromancers don't like it because they also feel it's pretty stupid. And they're not really a fan of it, and there was no need for it. But take care of yourselves out there as always. Stay safe out there in the real world on fire. Till next time, see ya.